Hi guys, welcome to Tasmania TV. In today's video I'm showing you how to do this choker necklace with a little bird cranium on it. So if you want to know how I did this, then stay tuned for the tutorial. Here's what you'll need to make this choker. Obviously you're going to need all your regular crafting and sewing tools. You're going to need an elastic band, which is going to make up the base. You're going to need some lace. I'm using a hook and eye to close my choker up, but you can use ribbon or anything like that too. This is crafts clay. There are different kinds, so look at what you have at your local craft store. And then you're also going to need whatever you want to decorate this. I have some buttons here, I have a bunch of pearls, some studs, all kinds of stuff, and you're also going to be needing jewelry glue. Those are all the things I'm going to be using, so let's get started. I'm going to start off with creating my piece from the clay. I'm going to be using white clay only today. You can use any colors or mix or do whatever you like. I just put a regular plate underneath to keep the clay from getting stained. Just use a kitchen knife to cut it. I will use my fingers most of the time to mold it, but then it's good to have a couple of toothpicks handy in case you need to do some detail work. My piece of clay is going to go inside of one of these buttons. So as I mold it, I'm going to keep the button nearby to make sure that this fits well in the middle. So I'm actually going to create a bird cranium out of this. Don't make your cranium too big. Here's one that I've made before. Since they have this long pokey beak, we don't want it to come down too far below the button because this is going to poke you in your neck and it's not going to be very comfortable. So I'm going to try to make this one smaller than the one that I already have. So here's basically what I do. I create a ball first. Then I use these two fingers here to squeeze in as I pull out to create the beak. The squeezing in here creates the start of the eye sockets. So I keep holding that while I create the beak. And gonna try to not make it crazy long. Then I kind of pull the edges out a little bit around the eye sockets. We want to get a little bit of that kind of lumpy feeling in the clay so that it actually looks like bone. I'm going to take one of my toothpicks to create the little nostrils. Just keep tweaking until you're happy, and then follow the instructions on the package of your particular clay. This one is supposed to go in the oven for about 15 minutes at 150 Celsius. Alright, I'm happy with my birdie and I'm going to put it in the oven to harden and then keep working with the other stuff while I wait for that. Next step is to start working on the main part of the choker. And I'm using an elastic ribbon like this to make up the main piece. I think this one is about 2.5 centimeters thick, and I'm going to be sewing this lace onto it. But first, I need to measure and cut this to fit my neck. Also going to use these, the hook and eye. I buy these on a roll, so you get like a long line of these little thingies, but I only need one for this. So I'm going to need to hem the edge and then sew that on. So I'm going to start by pinning that. If you sew your hook and eye on using a machine, be careful because they do have metal parts and you don't want to break your needle. Before sewing, make sure to try it on to see that it fits perfectly and is really snug around your neck. And go ahead and sew those on. One way to make it a little bit easier to sew the hook and eye on without injuring yourself or damaging your machine is switching to a zipper foot. It's thinner and you'll have more control. Sew it across once and then back up and sew it across one more time. Now repeat that step on the other side. You're now able to open and close your necklace. Start pinning the lace to your elastic. I'm pinning mine as close to the lower edge as possible. When you get to the edge, cut cut off so that you have a little bit more than you actually need. Then you can flip it around like so, getting it nice on both edges. I'm going to try to sew this on by following the stitching that is already in the lace. If you wanted to, you could leave it like this and have a nice simple choker, but I want to add some details to this. The first thing I'm going to do is sew the button on to the middle. Button is where the little bird's head is going to go once it's done. So I'm going to locate the middle by making the two ends meet and then folding it like so. You can put a marking needle on there if you want. And then I'm just going to sew this on as I'd sew on any regular button by hand. I'm sewing the button on both diagonally and up and down. Don't worry about this because the stitches are not going to show, since we are going to glue our little bird head on top of this. I'm going to keep decorating my choker. What would you guys put on a choker like this? If you have any cool ideas, you can put them in the commentary. You can put studs, spikes, pearls, chains, really anything. These are a couple of the things that I have to choose from. I think I'm just going to go with some studs today, and why not star-shaped ones? These are super easy to put on. They just have these little legs on the back that you fold in, and then they are in place. When I'm done with this, the final step is gluing my little bird skull onto the button. The glue that I'm using is just regular jewelry glue. You can find this at your local craft store. Once your clay is done, shut your oven off, take it out, and leave it to cool off. Once it's cooled off, it's okay to glue it to your choker. That is it, you guys. This is the finished product. If you have any questions or anything that you didn't keep up with in the video, just let me know in the commentary. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!